Hey, this is Russ. I wanted to update you guys since I went in for my second knee manipulation. So that happened on Tuesday of this week. Today is Friday. And I stayed overnight at the hospital. So I was there Tuesday and Wednesday. And a lot of things have happened since that point, and a lot of good and not so good things as well. So if you want to stick with me on this particular video, you'll learn about all the things that have changed over since that point. Anyways, my doctor felt that I wasn't hitting the amount of flexion or bend in my knee. I was mostly doing about 100 degrees. I really needed to be closer to 115 to 120. And so obviously, since we couldn't do it, he said that we're gonna do another manual knee manipulation. So the last time I did this, I was in and out of there a couple hours. Well, okay, more than a couple hours, but let's say 4 or 5 hours I was out of the hospital. But this time we decided we would keep me at the hospital because they were gonna put a nerve block in order for him to do this bend. So it basically blocks out the pain from my entire left leg, essentially. And so he felt that if we kept me in the hospital and left that nerve block in, then the physical therapists at the hospital would be able to bend me some more during that day that we did this procedure, and then the next day do some more as well. So we were kind of hoping we might get 4, maybe even 5 physical therapy sessions out of this with the nerve block in there. But it didn't turn out that way. Okay, so here's what happened. I went in, my procedure was only set for 1:30 in the afternoon, but because I couldn't get to the hospital because people work, my wife had to drop me off early. So I was there about 6:15 in the morning and just hung out at the waiting area until they were able to bring me in at about 11 a.m., just a little bit before 11 a.m. They brought me in to do the prep work. And typically what they'll do is they'll give you an IV, and then the anesthesiologist will come in and put the nerve block on your leg, and then you just hang out until it's time to do the procedure. Then they knock you out with anesthesia, and then of course they push on you again. So the doctor took some additional photos, and I will show you these photos here, and I'll show you the photos that we did from the first knee manipulation as well. So it's been now 2 months since the original knee operation to replace the left knee. By this time, most people are finished, but obviously I'm not. So, okay, so when I get out of the operating room, somehow, in some way, they removed the nerve block. Now, I didn't know this because even if you take the nerve block out, there's still residual medicine in there. So I couldn't feel my leg. It still felt numb. I figured I had the nerve block in there. I don't know what this nerve block looks like. And so physical therapist came in right after I got upstairs in my room, and she did some physical therapy on me. And I said, oh, okay, great. We'll wait until later. We'll do some more. But it turns out as the nurses were checking, your IV and checking the other things, she asked me, well, where's this nerve block? Because it's not there. And I says, I don't know. She says they had capped it off, which basically means that somebody took the nerve block out and shut it down. And since we couldn't get confirmation, it's in the evening now, we had to wait until the morning when the doctor came in to see me. And so we told the doctor, and the doctor says, get that nerve block back on him. So somewhere in the PACU unit where they do recovery, somebody may have taken it off, which is what they would normally do after the procedure, but that's not what we were hoping to do. So since I didn't get the nerve block until the next day again, it didn't happen until, I'm going to say, I don't know, maybe 10:30, something. I'm guessing at this point. We missed the opportunity to do PT. Now, here's another thing that they did to me that apparently is very rarely done. The doctor decided he wanted to add radiation. So what is this supposed to do? Well, if they put radiation on your knee, apparently after you cut the bone to put the artificial knee in there, sometimes the bone tries to grow a little bit, and so those bone cells could actually cause problems for the scar tissuing too. So he says if we can kill those off, then maybe we'll have a better chance as well. Now these are things you cannot see in an X-ray because it's so minute. So he says, just to be safe, let's do the radiation. So they have to measure you first before they do the radiation. So they brought me downstairs to do this measurement, and then they mark up your knee. But I was wearing a compression sock, and so I said, well, do you want me to take the sock off so you can mark up the knee? And they said, no, we can just mark up the compression sock. I says, but they're going to do physical therapy on me. Isn't that going to move the compression sock? And they said, well, tell them not to move it. By the time they got me back upstairs, the physical therapist was waiting for me, and I told her what happened. She says, well, there's no way we can do physical therapy and not move this thing. It's going to move. And if we move it, then this whole procedure of the radiation measurement would be totally wasted again. So we decided the best thing is don't do the physical therapy until after the radiation happened. Well, radiation didn't happen until about 2:30. They were hoping let's say 2:15 in the afternoon. They were hoping for 2 o'clock. It didn't happen until 2:15. By the time I got back upstairs after the radiation, it was 3 o'clock. And I told her, I says, we got to get several physical therapy sessions in, because otherwise I would be sitting in this hospital for one physical therapy yesterday and maybe one today. That's not enough. That's not what we were hoping to do, because I still have to hit that 115 to 120 degree bend. So the physical therapist was able to get one session in, and then she came back 45 minutes later and did another session right afterwards. It would have been better if it was stretched out to different timings, but it didn't turn out that way. Let me say something about this radiation thing too. That's the coolest machine I have ever seen. It's huge, probably 6 feet wide, and it's a big circular machine, and it rotates. And when they did the radiation on me, I could actually feel heat in my knee. So whatever they did, it killed something in there. Anyways, so now let me give you some information about physical therapy. So now they released me, I'm home, and they have changed my location for physical therapy. My doctor wanted me to go to a different physical therapy location, which is actually controlled by his office. And I originally probably would have gone there, but the insurance did not allow that. I had to stay within whatever the insurance network allowed, and that was the hospital's rehab center. But he wanted me at the other location. We all kind of felt that might be hard to do since it's out of the network, but they did a petition and they approved it. So I'm now at a different physical therapy location. I feel kind of bad because I wanted to finish this off with the guys that have been working with me for the last couple of months. And if they're watching, again, I appreciate all the things that you guys did. And if I am able to finish this whole thing, I will go back and show you that I am finished with this. So I will come back to say hi. Anyways, what is the new guy doing that's different from the other location? Well, he's bending just like everyone else is bending. So this is more for my former PTs, so they know what they're doing on me now that might be different. And that little metal device that they use to kind of stretch the scar tissues and stuff like that, he is using that on me. So they're kind of rubbing your knee area, kind of move the muscles and stuff. And by the way, since the second knee manipulation, all the muscles in my thigh and everything hurt again. This is what happened during the first one, and it hurts because you're really pushing hard and stretching those muscles that. So it hurts more there than it does on the knee at this point, and that's what happened last time too. It'll probably take about a week before that's gone. So anyways, he's pushing me a little different than how the other PT guys were pushing me. Just like the photo I'm going to show you again here, where you see the doctor's actually pushing my knee with my foot on the floor. I shouldn't say floor, but my foot on the bed. He's pushing me that same way. So laying down, knee up, and then pushing forward on my leg. That's the type of pushing they're doing. He feels that this is a tougher way to do it, but he says it'll be a more accurate way to measure it that way. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's how he feels. And so in the hospital, okay, let me give you the degrees of flexion that I had. I'm sorry, I know this is a very long video, but I wanted to give you all this information. The first time they pushed me, with the nerve block in, I hit 112 degrees. Now that is the highest I have ever gotten ever for bend, but again, it's under anesthesia essentially. And the second session in the hospital, I hit only 100 and, what was it, 104, I think. And then the second session, I hit 108. So 112, 104, and 108 under pushing. And the way that they measured it is I was sitting on the edge of a table, as I typically have done in the old physical therapy places, and then pushing on it. Now, the new technique, and again, I'll put the photo up here so you can see that, he's pushing forward on me, and then they're taking that measurement that way. This is the same type of measurement that the doctor would have done in the operating room when he did the knee manipulation, and they say that this is a harder way of bending. Yesterday, which was my first session, I only hit 90 degrees, and I was really kind of depressed about that because it's like I went backwards, but he did tell me this is harder than the other method, so 90 degrees is okay. Well, I still need 115, right? So today's PT, I went in there and he used that metal thing to kind of stretch out the muscles and the scar tissues. And with my own ability, without them pushing hard, just kind of, moving me forward a little bit, but really mostly under my own efforts, I hit 90 degrees, okay? With them pushing, I hit, what did I hit? 105 degrees. So we went 15 degrees more today with this method than we did yesterday. So I am actually kind of shocked we were able to hit 105 degrees when I only hit 90 degrees yesterday. Now, it could be, too, that the muscles might be loosening up a little bit more. They are putting heat on the muscles first, so they're giving me a hot towel. That gets me started. They do some slide. They sliding the knee back and forth and sliding it on a wood plank with a towel. So my leg is sliding back and forth. So we're doing that first, and then he does the major pushing, and we have hit 105 degrees. Now, that's pretty good. I do have hope at this point that maybe we will hit that 115 degrees by the end of all this. Now, I have another doctor's appointment the day after Thanksgiving, so a week from now, I'll see the doctor. I would like to be able to hit the 115 before then, if I can. If I can't, then, even if we hit, let's say, 110, that would still be pretty decent for a first week's effort, I think. So yeah, I'm optimistic at this point that maybe we might be able to do it. But again, with my knee, who knows, all right? So stick with me. I will give you more information as I am able to. I'm back on the CPM machine, and just for your own knowledge, CPM stands for continuous passive motion. And the CPM machine, of course, bends my knee automatically. I just keep going back and forth on the machine. And that new Jazz unit that I have, I'll bring a photo up here for you guys to see that too. That's helping as well. I haven't been on there that much because I've been in the hospital and, of course, prepping myself, getting ready for the PT sessions and stuff. You're supposed to do this 3 times a day, 30-minute sessions, but I'm lucky if I get 2 times a day out of it. Because I'm doing other things too. So anyways, hoping with that new unit, with the CPM unit going on, the new technique of pushing, I might hit the 115. Now, I'm surprised the doctor said 115 because I think he's always said at least 120. So I think he's just saying if I can do 115, he's going to accept that. Here's the alternative. If we don't hit it and he makes the determination, the next step is to cut open my knee again and have him cut the scar tissues. I absolutely do not want that to happen. That's major surgery a second time. I don't want that to happen. So no matter what we do, I have to let them push me even under major pain to hit that 115 continuously and consistently. So I appreciate your prayers and thoughts as I go through this. This is one of the worst knee situations you can get into. At the end of all this, I will make one summary video, and you guys are probably sick and tired of hearing about this stuff already, but I do want to make one final video when I'm finished, just so that there's something out on the internet, on YouTube, so people can see what would happen if your knee rehab doesn't go the way it should be. What are the various steps that can happen? I think this could be beneficial for somebody else. Maybe this is the reason I'm going through all this, is that I can be able to report on it. And it's important information because this is about as worse as it's going to get, short of opening up the knee again. Most people don't go through this, but mine's has gone that bad. So anyways, thank you so much for sticking with me. If you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button so you can see different things from me. I'll guarantee it's not going to be knee replacements forever here. We're going to finally finish this and we'll get back to our normal schedule of events. And hit the bell icon so that you can see notifications when new videos from me come out. I'll talk to you guys next time.